So this is for programming assignment 3. First question is asking us essentially to just send 2 separate packets over the network. I would imagine that this is similar to the application layer segmenting packets. But here we have our 2 packets, sample data, and then the second one is the long packet to send across our network. Here, pretty easy implementation. We have our first message, or our first packet received from host 2, and our second packet received from host 2 after transmission through the network layer. For question 2, it is essentially asking us to do a little bit more work at the network layer to segment packets based on the link bandwidths or link packet sizes. The in-interface data will segment based on the out interface's length. If the out interface is bigger than the in interface, it won't do anything because the out interface can take the whole packet. But if not, we have to segment the packet. In this current one, our first link between between client 1 and A is 50, and our second one between router A and client 2 is 30. So the packet that we're sending is pretty long. It'll take 3 different packets over 50 link. The link 1 to the router A, which is trying to send this whole packet, it splits it up. Here, this is the finished message that we get after we get an acknowledgement from the transmitting client to the host to say that it's done. That's the end of the message, which we can see right here. There's a bunch of little packets right here. This is a tiny one because it's the last one, but host 2 is receiving this one and obviously tacking that be segmented on the end to get here. We can also show that this works a little bit better by adding another router. Essentially this one is going from client 1 to router A to router B to client 2. The second link from B to the client 2 is 15, which will get even smaller packets and it'll take a longer time. So we can just show that real quick. So you can tell it takes a little bit longer to transmit. That's just because the packets are super tiny. Our header length is 5, so that really leaves us only 10 characters, and I think this packet's around 100 characters long, so 10 different packets across that link. Link B to host 2, right here. We have an example of that. Perfect. So for question 3, we're implementing essentially this routing table. A and D have 2 in and out interfaces. The rest of them have just one single in out interface and one single out interface. To implement the tables, we're essentially just doing dictionaries with lookup values. This is a representation of what the links each look like. So here are the 2 packets we're sending from client 1 going through router A, B, D. So it'll have to segment that, and then this is client 2 going from A to C to D, and this one won't segment at all because it's less than 50 characters. So when we run this, this one will actually reach first because it's a lot less data to transmit, a lot fewer packets. So this one shows up at the end. So host 3 finally receives the acknowledgement from the client 1, which means that this packet right here is finished transmitting. And this packet reaches a lot earlier because it essentially doesn't have to do any segmenting. Host 4 right here. Host 4 receives the acknowledgement. and then we see this message right here from that one.